Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to ePBS Breakout Call 29. This is the final breakout call for ePBS, after which, starting in 2026, ePBS discussions will take place at ACDT. Let's just get right into maybe updates from client teams. Is anyone here from Prism that can give us an update?
Not much. We're just waiting for the PR for the state builder to be merged so we can continue making progress. The implementing part of it, the patient state and the SSE static structure. So yeah, so we're just waiting for the PR to merge and hopefully we can get the release. And after the release, I can merge the PR, which should unblock the rest of the progress.
Awesome. Yeah. And did you have an opportunity to check the reference tests?
I have not. Turns out it's much harder to do that versus just having like an official release. So I think I will just wait for an official release and the also no rush on that as well. Yeah.
Okay. And I guess we could plan on making a new release pretty much as soon as we get like this group of PRs merged. So
Thank you.
maybe next week.
Sounds great.
Okay. Thanks. Is there anyone here from Lighthouse that can give us an update, if any update? Shane Moore just joined. Shane, are you from Lighthouse? Could you give us an update?
Hey guys. Yeah, on the Lighthouse side, we just merged the containers branch into our unstable. So pretty good milestone there. Then I think Michael and Manas have actually started taking a look at the fork choice related changes, which is nice. Mark is still handling some like payload separation type changes, and I'm tackling payload attestations.
Awesome. And that is a good milestone. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone from Tech here? I see a couple.
Yeah, not that much updates. This week has been a long week for us. Stefan is off, and yeah, the last thing we were working on, actually, Mehdi was working on it, still related to gossip validation rules that needs to be redesigned a little bit to make it better cross-fork aware. And yeah, not that much progress still on that. I don't know if Mehdi wants to add anything. Probably not that
No,
much.
that's basically it. Yeah, I've been working on the gossip layer, so yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
Okay. And Stefan's been on vacation, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think Lee will be back next year, and most of us will be starting going off from today. So
Yep.
yeah.
Expected. Same for me. Okay. Thank you for the update. Is there anyone here from Nimbus that can give us an update? I don't think anyone from Numbers is here. Okay. Lodestar.
From Lodestar side, we got the gossip topic, gossip validation. We got the op pool, sim cache done. And I'm personally looking at Datacom sidecar and how to make that change, and also the block import flow.
I'm sorry, the blocking port flow. What is that?
Yes. So basically, just basically, instead of just importing like a single block, you import the consensus block, and then you have like this intermediate beacon state that we need to store somewhere.
Oh,
And
I
then you have
understand.
the execution payload come in and do the remaining of the state transition.
Okay, I misunderstood. Thank you. That makes sense now. Okay, thanks. Last but
Hi.
not. Oh yeah.
Oh, hi, sir. Yeah, sorry from Nimbus. I missed that, sorry.
All good.
Um,
Sorry, all good. You
okay.
can give an update now if you want to.
Yeah, so we've been working on integrating the payload attestations to the validator duties, basically. Then, on the one hand, we are waiting for the new spec release. And also, we have somebody looking at the fork choice side of things. So basically, that's just it from us.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Grandine.
Anliang, would you like to take it?
No, you can
Okay.
speak.
Yeah, so mostly most of the PRs are in place, and we're in the process of reviewing them. A new PR from the last week was including the block stations, and I am personally answering reviews on some of the corrections, pointing at fork choice changes, and so it's mostly uh, correcting and reviewing the changes.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I guess we can get started into the other agenda items now. The first one is code for HTTP endpoint. This is something that POTUS wanted to bring up. It's essentially the builder API endpoints that would be necessary for a validator to submit bids and stuff. I'm not actually sure if this makes sense anymore, if we plan on using like if we end up making builders not validators. I'm not the most up to date on this one. Maybe Nico, could you give some more insights on whether or not this is something that, or like, what is this and should we be doing this?
Yeah, I'm not that convinced it makes sense, to be honest, because usually like where you run your validators, so if you assume a solo stake as a beacon node, I don't think you want to force that node to submit bits each slot, because there's like, if you force the EL to build payloads each slot, it's gonna be a hit on performance, especially if you think like long term, if blocks are harder to produce, like the payloads. I really don't know if that even makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I think
Does anyone else?
POTUS was mostly in favor of this, right? And Enrico, I think.
Yeah. Francesca?
Yeah, sorry. Could you just restate exactly what is the question?
Nico, maybe you'd be able to phrase it better than I could.
So basically the idea is that the beacon node would implement the builder functionality where you implement the server side of the builder API, like the get header and submit block API. So that's basically a case if you're a solo staker or maybe like a group like ETH staker and you want to act as a builder, that it's more accessible, or they can just run a client and don't need to run any relay or builder software.
I mean, it seems nice maybe as an opt-in. Like anyway, you would need to be even without the fully staked builders. You would anyway would need to opt in to the whole thing by depositing a builder. So if there was like just a flag or something to do this, it seems nice. It definitely seems weird if you were just building blocks for no reason without even having a builder that you control, but I don't know.
Terrence?
It's optional anyway, and we also have this today already, so I don't think it's like each today we have the flag, right? That's such that you can like signal the CL client to basically prepare a payload every slot, and the builder is already using something like this today. And the difference is that we're actually implementing like this, we're opening the port or having the handler for the server. That's the only difference. But I think this could be optional. I don't think it's like a requirement that client must do this. But like if today, say Nimbus or Lighthouse do it, then builder can just use the Nimbus and Lighthouse for this functionality.
Breath?
Yeah, I mean, sorry. I would assume like for clients, if they want to implement, like I would assume like, proposers are not going to whitelist like ETH staker, like store solo validators and stuff, right? Because you would directly, the builder API would probably like whitelist the builders who you're gonna like call get header and get bid or whatever, right? I would still assume like a lot of the solo builders would, and you kind of need to trust the builder that, okay, like it's a big enough builder that you know the URLs. And maybe in a future where the URLs are more like on chain, like I think the builder registry, which people are working on, maybe in that case, like everyone can publicize the URLs. But today, I would assume you would use the builder API for bigger builders. So, I mean, to me, like I imagine like small solo stakers would probably use the P2P gossip topic. And yeah, I mean, again, feels kind of weird for clients to implement the builder API, like the server side of the builder API. I think the bigger question for me is like whether clients want to whether the clients want to absorb the entire like MEV-boost client side implementation into the client, or like how they want to do that. So yeah, just like the clients can build blocks, but I'm not sure if the implementation of the builder API, the server side to send headers and the beacon block back makes like sense to me. But yeah, because I'd assume like the smaller validators are not going to be whitelisted by most proposers. So yeah.
Again, I think this is just totally optional. Like people can do it if they want to do it. So yeah. Mhm.
So I guess
Terrence.
one consideration would be if we separate the builders now and they are no longer validators, you would not import the key store in the validator client. So in my mind right now, it's probably a separate process that you can run, like whatever Lodestar builder, and then that only uses the SSE from the beacon node and submits bits only via P2P. I'm not really sure about the API part, to be honest.
Terrence, you're still unmuted. Do you want to say anything?
No, I think yeah, I don't think this is like a really that big a discussion point. Like people can do it if they want to do it. Client can support that. So yeah, I mean, this is not like this is not meant to be a requirement at all.
Okay. Do we still need to standardize this or specify it?
I think it's a very low priority to do that.
Okay.
It's a nice to have.
Okay, cool. Let's just move on to the next topic then, unless anyone has anything else. Okay. The next topic would be a PR on proposer preferences. I will share the link right now. So yeah, this is a way for validators, proposers, to share their peer recipient and gas limit preferences to builders before the proposal slot. I think it's pretty simple. It's via a gossip topic. The structure is pretty minimal. It includes the proposal slot, the proposer index, peer recipient gas limit, and maybe something else I forget. You would only submit these to the network, the epoch before you're proposing. So it'd be like 32 messages per epoch, which is fairly minimal. And I recently changed it from proposal epoch to proposal slot. So now if you're lucky enough to have multiple proposals in the same epoch, you would send 2 messages now, or multiple messages now. It just kind of makes it a bit easier to check and to verify. Yeah. I guess this is just a request for people to review the PR, and maybe on this call right now we can come to an agreement on whether or not this is something we want to merge or intend to merge after it's been properly reviewed. What do people think about this? Nico says in favor of having this.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me to complete the whole protocol, right? This is a missing piece to be everything without any API call, right?
Yep, I think so too.
Yeah, so I mean, makes total sense to me.
Brad?
Yeah, I think one thing about this is, so we send I think it's not an issue, but we send the preferences for Epoch E+1. If a builder if a builder is live, becomes active in the previous epoch, and hasn't received the preferences, the builder won't be able to won't know the preferences for Epoch E+1. And I guess that's fine. I mean, unless we want to have a way for that builder to be able to fetch those preferences, but that just seems too complicated to me. I just want to
Yeah,
know.
I agree. I think it'd be better just to force them to wait another epoch before actually submitting bids. Or they could, yeah, that's the easiest solution.
Yeah, otherwise I'd assume clients would have to store the preferences and you'll have to have a request response or something, which just doesn't make sense. But yeah, I just wanted to
I suppose you could spin up the builder node before the builder actually becomes active. So I mean, maybe it would have this information anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's just subscribing to a gossip topic, right?
Yeah,
There's
pretty
nothing.
much.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think
And
you're right there. Sorry?
I'm sorry. I was gonna say that non-staked builders could also use this gossip topic if they wanted to. But I guess it's not as useful. But yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think we know if they'll even exist or will even support them. Right.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a different problem. But yeah, I mean, it's just like listening to a gossip topic, so yeah, should be. Just wanted to raise that.
Okay. It sounds like there's support for this, so please take some time to review it when you can, and I'll try to merge it after it's properly reviewed and approved, and I make any suggested changes. Thank you. Okay. The next topic is a bid forwarding threshold. I just shared the link in the chat. This is kind of like a DOS prevention method, or something to help with preventing DOSes. This PR would change the forwarding threshold. So currently is the bid value greater than the current or the previous highest bid value? And this could be as small of a change as 1 GUI. This PR would make it to where the new bid would have to be in percent more valuable than the previous highest bid. In the PR, I have 3%, but we could change that to 1, 2, 5, whatever makes sense to us. I think it should be fairly low though, so keep that in mind. I forget what the remarks are about it were. I know Quasar Builder had some. Well, what do people think about this? Maybe builders? Lorenzo, do you have any opinions?
Yeah, I think maybe 3% would be a bit high. I don't have a good feeling. It's just when there is a very like high value blocks, then bidding in increments of like 3% seems very high. I mean, I do see the anti-DOS vector, but yeah, not sure if there's like a set number that is ideal.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the correct number could be either. Okay. How do other people feel about this? Is it something that we want, or are we fine without it?
I think something like that needs to be in. Definitely in favor.
Okay, thank you. Please take, or Francesca said, does it matter if the increase is high? The expected usage of this is more just a fallback. I'm not sure. I mean, I think it sort of matters. Lorenzo, could you answer that?
No, I think, well, if the goal is just to have an anti-DOS, then because we bid so frequently anyways, and likely wouldn't use P2P anyway, so yeah, it's just a fallback. But it's still, I can imagine some cases where we have to use it. And in that case, it would matter. It's just it's something maybe you don't use for 99% of blocks, and then you use for that single case. So that's why it wouldn't happen for high frequency bidding. Definitely, it's just the proposer set will be quite varied in general. So I could imagine some blocks will have to use it, even though that's not ideal. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Terrence?
Yeah, so I think on the implementation side, this is also like highly configurable in a way that like we can just tweak it once it goes live. I mean, we can start like saying with a reasonable number, and then once we see DOS, then we just notify everyone to tweak the number to be higher, and that will likely solve it as well. So that's another way. Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a good suggestion too. We could decide to keep it in our pocket and only use it, or only suggest people use this if necessary.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean that we have to use it, but it's just the number. It's like we can always change it to a higher number later on. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. Okay, it sounds like there's general support for this. Maybe we can chat about it some more on the PR. Please take some time to review it and or approve it. Okay, let's move on to the final topic, the non-validator builders. I'll share the link in the channel or in the chat. Okay, this is the big change that we've all been sort of working on this week. After speaking with builders, like for the past couple weeks, we learned that they prefer to avoid the deposit queue and rather than receive rewards on staked ETH, like faster deposits is more important to them. And also, I guess, smaller staking requirements. So like 1 ETH versus 32 ETH is more capital efficient. Yeah, so we spent a bunch of time working on a PR for this. I think a lot of people have reviewed it. I'm generally in favor of it. What do you all think? Aaron's thumbed up. Nico thumbed up. Okay.
When I read the non-validator builders description on the GitHub Ethereum PM, it does say like, however, we don't want to lose the fallback of P2P bids from actual validators. I'm just curious why we would lose that if we did this design.
Yeah, that is the one negative of this, I guess. Yeah, so like normal validators wouldn't be able to submit bids like they could in the current spec. Is your question like why is that, or like why are
Yeah,
we
why?
letting that? Oh, just
Yeah,
because they wouldn't be part of the builder set like in the state. So they would have a different set of indices, and the only thing they could do is self-build.
Okay. So we lose the fallback mechanism of being able to do P2P bids, basically.
I know
Yeah.
I mean, the builders would still be able to submit peer-to-peer bids.
Okay.
To be clear, like it would just be a different staking actor type. Like it just wouldn't it wouldn't have validator duties, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, I'm following you.
Yes, correct. Francesco said anyone could put down 1 ETH and become a builder. And it would be very quick. Nico?
Yeah, just to me, it's not really clear, this argument that any validator would be a builder. Just from technical perspective, it doesn't make a lot of sense for your validator client node to also produce blocks each slot. Because really, I mean, right now, to me, it makes way more sense to have this separated. And it's also cleaner from a key management perspective. And run this on a different server or at least different process. So I'm really wondering, like, who would be those validators that we are talking about? Because I don't really even see who would be doing that. And if they want, they can just deposit the 1 ETH, which should be small enough for people running validators.
Yeah, I see the argument that the hardcore Ethereum guys that really wants to do that anyway won't be blocked by the need of depositing an ETH and essentially spin up the dedicated validator. Well, new key pair for that. Probably the only downside would be that since this use case is would be less used and require some implementation on client side, probably very few clients will be implementing this, while the other world would have been much easier. But yeah, I
But
kind
is
of agree.
it really easier? Because for me, like, I don't want the node that is validating to also doing the bidding. I kind of find it nice that it's separate now.
Yeah, I get this argument, but the technical implementation would be different because then you have to handle this new special validator and you have to have this additional key management on the validator client that is dedicated to that only. So it's, I don't know if the detail, but my gut feeling now seems that this is a more special case than before. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also not sure if the code for that should even live on the beacon node side, because then you need to handle different cases. While the beacon node only needs to do the proposer concern, right? Acting as proposer.
Just needs to expose the API for sending stuff over the P2P. And only that. It's currently self-binding. It doesn't require to send anything on the P2P side. So a beacon node doesn't even require to have the bid gossiping. I mean the sending part, if doesn't want to support builder flow.
Yeah, I guess the idea could be that it's just a sidecar software, the builder, and we could still implement that as a client, and then you just use the Beacon API to submit the bid and listen to SSE events and stuff.
Yeah, we just probably need to standardize the API on that side. The bid API for the publishing bid API on the Beacon node, and yeah, maybe related events. But once we do that, becomes much easier.
Okay. Francesco has asked for me to summarize the open questions left on the PR. The first one that comes to mind is it's not really open anymore, but we just made a decision on whether or not builders should use withdrawal requests or voluntary exits. And I think we've come to this decision that we want them to do voluntary exits because it's a bit simpler and less risky for them, so that they can continue using their execution address, wallet, account, whatever you want to call it, for other stuff too. The other questions would be, one second. POTUS said something about get index for new builder. He said flagging this function as a possible problem. Don't have it clear yet, but it's something that clients may want to discuss in the breakout. We typically have a global public key to index mapping cache for signature validation, and this type of reusage would make this cache a little more sensitive to be in sync with the head view. Not against this, just flagging as a possible shot in our foot. I don't entirely understand. I will share a link in the chat. I'm not sure if there are any other open questions. Nico?
Yeah, I was also looking at that when looking how to implement the builder separation. And in my mind, like if we have the index reuse, it might be fine to just get the pub key and the index conversion from the state directly and not use our pub key to index cache. And I think it might be fine if the list is not too large. So I guess that's the concern. Because our pub key to index cache is basically append only, while I think that doesn't work if you have index reuse, or it gets more complicated.
Yeah. In the chat, Francesco said builder exits take 18 days, so not sure that really counts as sensitive to be in sync. Which, yeah. Also, I guess that's a good question, or a good question to bring up. Like, is 18 days reasonable? Like, could this be less or more? I mean, it's just like a nice round number, 4096 epochs. 4096. Okay. Review that in the PR. I guess
Maybe
the only
one thing
other.
to sorry, maybe just one thing to say here is just to say, like, why do we even have this number? Because in principle, like, builders are not actually staked, and you could think that they could exit immediately. So just for other people that maybe didn't like read the whole discussion, the purpose of this exit period is mostly to basically put at least some cost to someone just depositing a bunch of stake and then withdrawing it, like to kind of just bloat up the stake, which I mean, in part that's mitigated by if we have this reusing of the indices, that somewhat mitigates it. But still, like you could still, I don't know, deposit like 100,000 ETH in like 1 ETH increments and just create like 100,000 indices, which may or may not be reused and kind of permanently potentially bloat the state. And so at least this puts like some cost that you can just immediately withdraw it and just have loaded the state for like 1 day of depositing and withdrawing. But it's not clear that this is the best way to do this, or this number is kind of just pulled out of a hat. So I don't know. It feels like this is something that maybe we should still. I mean, it's fine for it to be like that, but keeping in mind this purpose, maybe it's still worth discussing. Like, is this actually the best way to do this? And otherwise, what could we do?
Yeah, and worth mentioning that this is possible with validators today as well. You just send 1 ETH to the deposit contract, and it would create the validator indice and keep it in the state. How do people feel about this? Clients, devs? Okay. There was one other open question, I suppose, a comment from Mikhail about whether or not we should add check prior withdrawals in the builder withdrawals loop. I was arguing that it's unnecessary because like it's impossible that their balance would be lower than the expected amount. And I forget the entire argument, but he's suggesting we add it. If you have an opinion on this, please comment on the PR. Yeah. I think that's it. Maybe Francesco, am I missing anything?
Not that I can think of right now. About the point from before, I just want to add, I think one difference with the validator bloating thing is that I think, if I remember correctly, like you can't withdraw validators unless it's become active first. So you do need to deposit. Like you can bloat the state with 1 ETH, but if you do want to get it out, you have to first deposit another 31 ETH. So that makes it a bit like, at least if you want to get the money out, you will need like more of a budget to make this attack. But yeah, it's not like fundamentally different, I guess.
No, I forgot about that. You are correct.
But yeah, other than this, I'm not sure. I don't have something else in mind.
Okay. Yeah, just call out.
Actually, sorry, yeah, one more thing. Let me just say, I mentioned this on Discord, but just in case to say it here. So I think most of the 4-choice pack is what it is, and it's gonna stay how it is. I mean, of course, like, people are welcome to review and point out problems, but like, at least I wouldn't expect it to change greatly. It's been like that for a while. There is some sort of like things around the edges that I do plan to change that, and yeah, someone asked me to link the changes today. I didn't get to that yet, but it's somewhere on Discord. I'll link to it after the call. They're kind of old, so it's, yeah, I think they still pretty much like the 4-choice pack hasn't changed, so it's still gonna make sense, but things around it have changed. But yeah, it's more stuff around let's say edge cases of the trustless payment stuff. But at least the main, get head and how the basically block 3 works with payloads and all this stuff like should stay as is. And most of the stuff around how do you use the PTC and like all these things are changing, are the same. Just what should change is some things around like what exactly do proposers do and a little bit of like how a testers interact with this. But yeah, I would say don't worry about it too much. Just like maybe don't, maybe think too much yet about the fine details of this interaction, because some things will change in this PR. And I mean, yeah, I can also I can link to the discussion that existed about this before, where it's already kind of explained why these changes are, and yeah, what the purpose is.
Thank you. There is one more open question, I suppose. It's about whether or not a builder should have a withdrawable epoch field. Personally, I don't think this makes sense. But again, please, I'll share a link 1 second, sorry. Please comment. I think a builder, sorry, I'm quoting Mikhail here. I think a builder should also have a withdrawable epoch. Once the exit epoch is reached, the builder becomes inactive, cannot bid, and then until withdrawable epoch, the balance is frozen on the beacon chain. Without that freeze, the DOS protection isn't as strong as it can be. And I said something like, the builder can't submit a bid if it's initiated an exit, which is sort of a freeze. So it should be the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. For that PR, that's all. Seems like there's support, so if you have time, please review the PR, approve it if you agree. If there's a sufficient number of approvals, I'll merge it. I still do need to make the withdrawal request versus voluntary exit change, but I can do that like probably in 20 minutes, like after this breakout call. And then yeah, after these PRs get merged, I'll make a release. I can do that just whenever it's ready, pretty much. That's all of the planned agenda items. Is there any other topics people want to bring up?
One thing is we do have like I've been working on the initial like builder API specs, but yeah, it's in I think it's in like in decent shape for a review, but I believe like people can start reviewing it after the stake builders PR gets merged, because there's some dependencies with that, especially the builder index and stuff. So yeah, but just like want to put that out like.
Yep, thank you. Anything else? Okay, let's end the call then. Happy holidays, everyone. Enjoy the time off and see you at ACDT in 2026.